In the center, we had our returning champion, a high school history teacher with a sharp mind and an even sharper buzzer finger. To their left, a software engineer from Seattle who brought a cool, analytical approach to the game. And on the right, a librarian from Chicago whose breadth of knowledge was immediately apparent. The stage was set for an intellectual showdown, and it did not disappoint. We had literary first lines, world capitals, in the science lab, pop culture nicknames, and a fun one called Before and After. But the software engineer wasn't far behind, finding their rhythm in the science lab category and picking up some valuable clues. The librarian also made some smart wagers, especially in literary first lines, showing a real depth of knowledge. One of the highlights was a tough clue about a famous novel's opening, and the librarian nailed it, adding a solid 1,000 to their score. By the first commercial break, the scores were tight. The champion was in the lead, but the other two contestants were right on their heels, making it clear this wasn't going to be a runaway game. They wagered a significant amount, and after a moment of thought, delivered the correct response, much to the applause of the studio audience. It was a bold move that paid off, extending their lead and putting pressure on the competition. The Double Jeopardy round is where things really started to heat up. The categories were even more challenging, testing the contestants' knowledge across a wide spectrum. The clue was about a lesser-known inventor from the early 20th century. You could feel the tension as they worked through it, and then, with confidence, they gave the correct response, rocketing them into first place. The studio erupted. This completely changed the dynamic of the game. The returning champion, now in second place, had to fight back. They started buzzing in with incredible speed, especially in the Shakespearean insults category, which was a joy to watch. But the librarian wasn't out of it either. In third place, but with a respectable score, they made a strategic wager, not too risky, but enough to put them in contention if they got it right. The scores going into the final round were incredibly close. The software engineer was in the lead with a narrow margin. The champion was just a few $1,000s behind, and the librarian was in a strong third-place position, within striking distance. The category for Final Jeopardy was revealed to be 20th century art, a notoriously difficult category that could trip up even the most knowledgeable players. The contestants had a lot to think about, not just the answer, but how much to wager. This was a classic Jeopardy! Dilemma: do you bet big to win, or do you bet strategically to cover your opponents? The final clue was revealed, focusing on a specific art movement and one of its pioneering figures. It was a real brain teaser, requiring a deep understanding of art history. The music played, and you could see the intense concentration on each of their faces as they wrote down their responses. When the time was up, the host went to the librarian first. They had the correct response and had wagered nearly everything. Doubling their score and putting immense pressure on the top two, next was the returning champion. They also had the correct response. It all came down to the leader, the software engineer. Did they get it right? They revealed their answer. Congratulations to the new Jeopardy champion. This episode was a perfect example of why we love this show, the intellect. Thanks so much for watching this recap with me. What did you think of that Final Jeopardy wager? So let me know in the comments below.